Happy 80th birthday, Granny!
Hello, happy 80th birthday, Granny. We decided that we would make you a video to celebrate your 80th birthday with some of the things that we love about you and our favourite memories of you. And I wanted to start with my earliest memories of when I was really little, and how ever since I can remember you've always made my friends welcome. Birch Close's always been really welcoming place. Hayley remembers, and Sarah, and then as I was older, university friends came over. We have had people from Canada, Trevor, Yvonne, people from Australia, all over the world, and now Lisa and Ian visit you as much as they visit us, I think. You've always been really good at keeping in touch with your friends. We used to joke, Joanne Beresford and I, that if we met someone out on a walk, we'd be like, oh, my mum will have them round for dinner soon. Or when we met people on holiday, you'd have them come and visit. You've kept in touch with people from your early days at school, from your high school, from everything, university, Broome, people who moved away, holidays we went on. You're really good at nurturing your friendships, and so you have a great support network. You're very resourceful. You waste nothing. You're an incredible darner. You can make a flower arrangement look pretty amazing for a month or more, and you are a stain removing queen. You taught me lots of things. You taught me to sew buttons. I don't feel confident with zips, but I remember, I don't know if you remember, the really cute little blouse that I bought at French Connection. We used it as a pattern and made a second cute little blouse. Every year you paint a beautiful Christmas card, and we always love your hand-drawn or hand-painted card. Very artistic.
Granny, happy 80th birthday. This is like a collection of memories and things that I really like about you. Starting with, when you gave me your very, very special doll that was really important to you all the way from India to keep. And I literally loved that doll so much, and it was so kind of you to give me something so sentimental, like, that I could have easily destroyed at that age. Easily. And going along with that, the pram, and how we would always like take it for little walks and like push it around. Those are some of like the happiest times of my life. I loved that pram so much, and it was really sweet that you kept it, even if it wasn't for that purpose, because we had so much fun. Also, going to art class with you and meeting everybody and making a really cool painting and seeing how things were done was pretty awesome. And I have this one like specific memory of going to the dinosaur park and asking my parents for this ice cream, and it was the most like obnoxious ice cream ever. Like, it was covered in rainbow sprinkles, and my mom and dad did not want me to get it, and you were like, hey, let's get you that ice cream. And you took me back to the stall and bought me the ice cream, and mom and dad were like, oh god, because it was so big. And along with sweet treats, baking cookies with you, the ones with the little cherries.
Happy 80th birthday, Granny. I just want to share with you some of the special moments we've had together celebrating your 80th birthday. And I'm going to start with how we always would take walks around Broome to the lakes, seeing all the swans, feeding them. That was really fun. Seeing the cygnets grow every year. Walking to Jordan's Mill, which was really fun. And when we pick the plums and make it for jam, and the jam always turns out really nice.
Happy 80th, Granny. I have some memories for you that are not presented thematically. This is going to be popcorn style. So, one memory and experience I really like is walking around the lake. And I love the fact that you are pretty much always game to walk around the lake, because that's one of the favorite things I like to do as well. Upon arriving in England, there's nothing more that I like than having a corn bake. It is the most soothing and comfort food that you could have, and I love your corn bakes. A third memory is in relation to corn bake, and any other food for that matter, is you constantly insisting and urging me that I have every last morsel. And thank God I have kids now, because they can fill that gap. Fourth memory I have is really with both children being born and you arriving one day before both of them were born. The uncanniness behind that is absolutely incredible. Even given that Kieran was, we had an appointment for him, you still booked your flight before you knew when the appointment was. A fifth memory is when Molly was born, or after she was born, and taking her for her first walk in a pushchair at the beaches, and that was really lovely.
So you've always been very stylish. I used to love your fantastic clothes and jewellery, wearing your 60s boots and big 60s jewellery made from horseshoe nails and hair clips and all sorts of fabulous things. I love that you did yoga years and years before it was cool. How many years have you been going to yoga? And it shows, because you're incredibly fit and flexible. You definitely do not look or seem 80. I loved that you did lots for me as a kid, helping with homework, running me around to visit friends, letting me bring Sarah on holiday, and helping me talk Dad into getting a cat. I've always been able to talk to you. You're a very caring person. You're an unusually good listener, and I like that you do give people the benefit of the doubt. Like Grandad says, you're basically Mary Poppins, and if you've got nothing nice to say about someone, or you don't like them, then they have to be a pretty low person.
Some more happy, lovely memories I have with you are you gave me and Kieran each like £10 to go to this candy shop right near our playground, and we went and we bought so much candy because everything was like ridiculously cheap, and we were so sugar high but so happy, and it was just so fun going in and picking out the candy and seeing how things were done and like feeling all rich with my £10. Yeah, and also like all the various playgrounds that you guys have sort of scoped out and taken us to, like the one, I don't know what it's called, but it has all the little like wooden things that you climb up, and the big swingy thing, and then the zip line. I really like that one. And so many more that have just all kind of jumbled into one memory from like the amount that you've taken me and Kieran to. Also, the dinosaur park. I have always loved the dinosaur park, and it will always be what I think of when I think of you, because it's like an entire experience, like getting the bread out the night before and de-thawing it, and then cutting it the next morning and making sure everybody knows what they want in their sandwich, which honestly, props to you, making multiple sandwiches for everybody in the family and making sure everybody has the specific flavor that they want. Like, go off, queen. And like packing the bag and then getting in the cars and heading to the dinosaur park, and then we finally get there and it's like, oh my god, we're here. Yeah, I've always loved the dinosaur park, and spinning the wheel and seeing what noises the dinosaur makes, just thinking about it makes me so happy. And also making ice cream with you. like getting the yogurt out for the first time and seeing how it was all done, getting the yogurt and the icing sugar and the meringues and like crushing them up, and then the lemon and putting it all together, and then serving it a couple days later to the family and being like, yeah, we made that. So fun. I'm so excited to continue cooking and baking with you when we get back.
A sixth memory is coffee, and you always join me for coffee, and you always have coffee available, and I really appreciate that. Seventh memory is picking plums by the Ivel. I really, again, love doing any kind of walk, and the Ivel is a wonderful place to walk, and when you can eat along the way, even better. Eighth is visiting any National Trust site, and in particular Rest Park. I absolutely adore going there. I think it's a beautiful grounds, and it's just a lovely way to spend a day. Ninth is our trip to Scotland, and that was amazing, just booting up the A1 and spending time in the borders, and in particular having that amazing curry at People's. That was just a lovely time. And two more. Number 10 was the cottage on Lake Vernon, where you and Ron stayed, and connected to that, number 11 is the joy of paddling into Huntsville for your groceries. I just remember what a kick the two of you got out of it, and that's such an amazing memory.
Some more memories I have with you are doing lots of fun things at home. Like when we drew I drew the swan picture, but you helped me pick the feathers for it. Your oatmeal cherry cookies are always amazing. They're one of the highlights of England. When we made that slip and slide, and Granddad would pick us up by an arm and a leg, and shoot us all the way down, and we'd go zooming. It was a really handy thing that we made. Staying up, that one year we stayed up on New Year's Eve. That was really fun.
So I feel like you taught me the importance of being a good friend to people, and also the importance of being a good neighbour. You always welcome people to Birch Close. You look out for people when they're going through something difficult, look for ways to help people, and you taught me that community is everything. I remember when you got the postman organised a retirement, I bet they remember that, the big thing for them forever. You're a doer. You were on the PTA, you did yoga, swimming, keep fit, squash, art, all sorts of classes, theatre trips, Birch Close Born Again, church cleaning, you helped at the Berry, you visited your patient with MS, you planted hedgerows, you've done the WI, you keep books for charity, you still do the big breakfast. I'm sure I've missed tons, but you definitely make things happen, and you always have really contributed to your community.
And starting out strong with another great memory to begin with is the zip line. I remember you guys taking me on various zip lines, but one like really big, especially for me at the time, and like you and like Granddad getting behind me and giving me like this ginormous push, and me feeling like I was like flying throughout the air, like absolutely like pushing it through that zip line and like swooping right until the end, and then I hit it and it was like boom. Yeah, so many zipline memories just like that, of you guys just being there and pushing me, and me being absolutely blissful and having the time of my life. Also one year, I don't know if it was for Christmas or if you just bought it for me on a whim, I'm not sure, but I had this kit that had like pre-made cutout shapes that were felt with all the little holes already punched in. And I remember we sat down together one afternoon to do it, and we got the thread and we got everything all put together, and I just remember like sewing it up and seeing all these cute little animals with their little like button eyes, and like there was like a pink fox with a blue chest or something. I don't know, I found it really cool, and it was a really fun memory, and I remember like taking them home and having them in my room. And then this is kind of taking it on more of a sad note, but somehow they got destroyed recently. I think like the dog got to them, but I remember just being like, damn. Anyways, also juice. I feel like I don't need to elaborate on this one, but maybe I might. You guys always have juice, and you always get me and Kieran's favorite flavors. Of course, there's always gonna be the apple and pear one in the fridge for Granddad, of course. But whenever we come over, you have like the cranberry one that's like literally no cranberries. It's just all saturated sugar, and we're like, it's so good. On the topic of juice, also going to Sainsbury's, I have so many memories of going there and me coming out with like a tiny little toy, or like sometimes a magazine, or like we'd go in the clothing aisle, or like checking like a scratch ticket, or going shopping. And I have lots of really fun memories inside of Sainsbury's with you.
Okay. And number 12, carrying on with the nature theme, is you and Ron spending your honeymoon with Kate and I, and in particular, all the walks and spending time along the Bruce Peninsula, which is just a lovely part of the province. Number 13 is lending the KA for us to whip around England. Can't tell you how many miles we put on that car and how privileged we are to actually have an automobile while we're there. So thank you so much for that. Number 14 is talking footy. All things Foxes, and you showing just a smidgen of an interest in Wigan, who drew Cambridge, at Cambridge today, by the way. Number 15 is making sure that I have the paper, and also, more importantly, giving me the time and the permission to read it. I think that is really, truly spectacular. And number 16 is pantomimes. Be it Stevenage or Hitchin, it's always good fun going to a pantomime.
One of my favorite parts of going to England is the fun trips we always have, whether it's going to London, going to Lyme Regis, finding those fossils, going to center parks, and it's all the trips are super fun. My favorite's probably center parks, going down the rapids and the cyclone. That's fun, and it's always really nice going places with you.
I have a lot of memories in my head of you touching and playing with my hair, but I remember one time I was like, hey, can we like do my hair for real? And I remember you took me in your room and you sat me down and you opened up that little like vanity jewelry box with the sides like that. You probably know what I'm talking about. And you took out your brush and one of Mom's old like wooden clips, and you took my hair up like this and like that, and then took the clip and stuck the pin through. And I remember you were like, what do you think? And I got up and I looked in like the little mirror and I was like, oh my God, I look so pretty. Yeah. Also, bath time was a really big memory when I was like little enough to take baths with other people in the room. But I remember I would like get in and you guys would like pour it with bubbles, and it'd be not too hot, not too cold. And then you get the cute little toys out and the non-sensitizing soap, of course. Come on, who do we think we are? And you would like scrub my hair and play with the toys with me, and like take the little cups and pour the water back on my head. I don't know, those are just like blowing the bubbles, such fun memories. Also giving me your old things. This kind of does tie back to the doll thing, but you've given me a lot of your old like clothes, from like swimsuits to other things, also old toys, and also given me permission to take a lot of Mom's old stuff, like her jewelry box and the clip that I just talked about for like the hair stuff. Also just every single Christmas that I've gone over there, it hasn't been the same full-on winter effect of like snow and big flurries and sledding, but you have still managed to make it just as wonderful and magical Like, even though the tree isn't the biggest, it's always surrounded by so many presents. It's like comedical because it's like overflowing. And I always have so much decorating the tree and the little Christmas cake and looking in my stockings and seeing all these things that I love. And it's just, Christmas is such a magical time, even when it's rainy and gloomy England weather. Because of you, you make it that way.
Number 17 is tolerating my tea making, which I regret to say has not improved at all over these years, but both you and Ron are very tolerant of it. I think you are. Number 18 is your artistic talent. I love seeing what you're working on, and more to the point, I love getting your Christmas cards. They're so beautiful, and a lot of effort and heart goes into them. Number 19, you always introduce me to new people, and more importantly, you always provide context to those people, which I really, really appreciate, and you're also very welcoming. Which goes along with number 20, and that's your love to entertain. People really enjoy coming around to yours and being with your company, and I very much enjoy being your son-in-law, so thank you for being very welcoming to me over the years. Happy 80th, Granny.
Just a few fun memories. I remember visiting us in Peru, squashing all those kids into the taxi, dancing at our wedding. That's my favourite picture of you and me, dancing to the samba band, making us the best food, melting moments and high teas with your famous rolls and cakes and bakewell tarts. And of course, you are a fabulous A++ granny. The kids adore you, and you are basically the glue that holds together our immediate family and the bigger family. And we love you to bits.
Some more memories I have with you are doing lots of fun things at home. Like when we drew I drew the swan picture, but you helped me pick the feathers for it. Your oatmeal cherry cookies are always amazing. They're one of the highlights of England. When we made that slip and slide, and Granddad would pick us up by an arm and a leg, and shoot us all the way down, and we'd go zooming. It was a really handy thing that we made. Staying up. That one year we stayed up on New Year's Eve. That was really fun.
I've always loved getting things from you, not in like a, I've always loved using you for money, because obviously not, but like we'd go into the garage and like pull out that little red thing with the handles that like bounces, you know what I mean? And what I'm trying to segue from that is getting the UT or TY clothes, you know what I mean? Because they were always so cute and they always matched my style so much. And I would come to England and you would like shower me with these adorable clothes, and I would be like, look at me in my British clothes. And then I'd go home and people would be like, oh my God, where'd you get it? And I'd be like, my grandma got them for me from England. Yeah. You can't get them here. I'm just so cool. Also going into Joe's old room and having like the panda bedding always laid out, and those little like mouse nightlights, you know, in the little houses with the little plugins. And I'd walk in and like the Cindy dolls would be like in the wardrobe, and the like Slinky and Happy Families and all those old little games, and then the like lights in the walls, and it just felt so like homey and like a lovely little childhood bedroom. And you really brought that essence to life. You'd like make everything all nice, and I'd specially request like, I want the panda bedding, and you'd be like, okay. I also have a really vivid memory. I don't know what it was for, but like laying out fancy cutlery for dinner, like going into the little like leather case you have with the red on the inside and pulling out all the fancy silverware and like setting it up on the table all nicely and like turning the hot plate on and like making the drinks and making everything all nice, and then me and you just looking at each other and being like, we did that. And finally, the last memory that I want to talk about is playing card games like Happy Families and Uno and other ones that are not coming to the top of my head right now because those were the two that we like consistently, relentlessly played. But I have such fun memories of like debating with the family, like da da, and like you just being there in the corner, like knowing you were gonna win, like silent but deadly. Yeah, I've always loved doing those things with you. Anyways, have a absolutely fabulous birthday, Granny. I am so beyond excited to see you, and I will be giving you triple the amount of hugs, like a bajillion times the amount of hugs for all of the birthdays and Christmases that I've missed during this whole COVID shenanigan. But I'm so unbelievably excited to see you.
Fiji, say happy birthday, Granny.